Today, we're going to talk about the art of listening. And this will just be the beginning of many conversations that we're going to have about listening.
Right. And I'd like to start with a quote that I find is probably the most powerful quote I've ever come up with. No, not come up with, heard.
Heard.
In my career as an educator.
Around listening.
Around listening. Yeah. Well, you know what? Around just about everything.
Okay.
Because 80%, supposedly, of what we learn is through listening.
Right.
So it has impact for everything that we do in our classroom and in our teaching. And the quote, which can be attributed to a variety of sources, and is actually in the movie Pulp Fiction.
Ooh.
Interesting. The quote is, "Are you listening or are you waiting to talk?"
Yeah, that's, yes. And I play that in my head all the time when I'm trying not to, interrupt you or interrupt my own students or members of my family.
That's right. And it's listening is perhaps one of the most difficult things we learn how to do, because we actually know we can hear. Those of us who are hearing abled can hear. And you will always get information. But when we go into the process of listening, we are using listening to gather information. Right. It's very, very purposeful. So that means when we are listening, we are really attending to the person who is speaking.
Right. Like not interrupting like we do all the time.
I was just about to say you're doing a very good job.
And I'm trying. I'm playing that in my head. Am I just waiting to talk? Probably.
Probably. And anyone in my family will tell you this is something that I struggle with as well. So obviously you want to have wonderful, lively conversations, but you don't want to take over the conversations with things like, I know exactly what you mean. And then you take the conversation to be your own. So we're going to talk more about listening. And actually on our website, we have provided for you a little non-scientific self-assessment about listening. And it asks you questions about how you respond to a person who is having a conversation with you.
And what you're listening for.
Right. Yeah. And what you were listening for. And just before we end this first part of our
I have a
conversation...
listening joke. Want to hear it?
Okay.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Cow.
Cow who?
Oh, wait, I did it wrong. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting.
Moo!